I am Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All S, all P, all O, R T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
My team is made up of guards and forwards,
offense and defense,
all working together as a unit.
One mission, one goal.
But no matter how high we're ranked,
no matter what the results,
there's one team we'll never beat.
The sports medicine team at UK Healthcare. The top sports medicine physicians, surgeons, and athletic trainers you'll find anywhere, you'll find here.
When it comes to orthopedic care,
I wouldn't send my team anywhere else.
Folks, this is Gary Ball, and you hear my catchphrase, soup and a sandwich. When I want the best potato soup and prime rib sandwich, I head over to Rafferty's Restaurants after my games. Check out Rafferty's 9 great locations throughout Kentucky, and all you teens, you can eat at Rafferty's before those big ball games. The open prime rib sandwich is what legends are made of. Ask Joe B. Hall, the legend himself, it's his favorite. Rafferty's a big supporter of high school sports throughout Kentucky. Rafferty's, where the special is you.
Second, number 34, Parker Jackson. Batting third, doing the catching, number 13, Jesse Howard. Batting cleanup at first base, number 11, Landon Arflack. Batting fifth, doing the pitching tonight, number 12, Luke Wheatley. Batting sixth at third base, number 35, Logan Etherington. Batting seventh in left field, number 21, Parker Burge. Batting eighth in center field, number 24, Tyler Anglin. And batting ninth in right field, Number 32, Teddy Imberton. The rest of your Wolverines, the coaching staff, assistants Jeff Howard, Troy Redmond, Matt Freer, and the head coach Drew Chisholm. And now for the Scott County Cardinals, the home team on the scoreboard. Leading off, playing center field, number 4, Cam Hill. Batting second, doing the pitching, number 2, Sam Sutton. Batting third at second base, number 51, Kendall Covington. Batting cleanup, designated hitter, number 44, Trey Bender. Batting fifth, first baseman, number 13, Trey Ogle. Batting sixth at third, number 1, Ryan Hannabach. Batting seventh, doing the catching, number 22, Braden Kopp. Batting eighth at shortstop, number 10, Cooper Robb. And batting ninth in right field, number 11, Bryce Fryman. In left field tonight, being DH for number 53, Brian Thorne. And the rest of your Cardinals and their coaches, Greg Stratton, Steve Marks, Terry Maston, Tyler Finley, Jim McKee, and the head man, Scott Willard. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of our national anthem? Gentlemen, remove your caps. The flag is located behind the left field fence. Thank you. All right, let's play ball. Before we start, I want to remind you that you can follow all the live action on Twitter at 11th2K16. As far as PrepSpin.com, following Gary Ball and the guys for all the live action here. You want to follow them after the game for the start of the game. And of course, you can archive any game of the 11th Region Tournament this year to bring back all the memories you've made this week. Again, top of the first, Western Hills is the visitors. First three batters, Bennett, Jackson, Howard.
Well, welcome back to the 11th Region. Tonight, the championship. Gary Ball, Darren Douglas, and William Warfield. We're set for baseball tonight. Darren will be alongside, and he'll help me with the call. I'll do the first couple innings. Darren Douglas will give you the call of innings 3 and 4, and we'll just rotate in. You know, if it's good enough for Marty and Joe, it's good enough for Darren and Gary.
Who are we to say anything differently?
To break a winning pattern.
Correct.
Well, hey, Darren, is it the teams you thought would be here? Come on, be honest.
No.
Western Hills, Scott County?
When I saw the brackets, I thought the winner of the Lexington Catholic Madison Central game, and no offense to the other guys in the top half of that bracket, I thought that was the game that would slide down. Whoever won that one would not have a cakewalk, but get to the championship game. And then I thought Henry Clay in that bottom half in Lafayette would vie for this spot tonight. Let's face it here, Scott County played a pretty good game yesterday.
Yes, they did.
I went home and watched it last night after our game that I had here with William. And then Western Hills just absolutely smoked the baseball.
Let's get to the starting lineups. We're just about set for baseball. To be Thomas Bennett, the shortstop, leading off for Western Hills. 28 wins on the season. Parker Jackson, the second baseman, batting in that second hole. Jesse Howard, who Coach Seth Knight thinks is the best catcher in the 11th Region, will bat third. It'll be Landon Arflack, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Luke Wheatley, the pitcher tonight for Western Hills, batting fifth. Logan Etherington, the third baseman, in the sixth hole. Parker Burge, left left fielder in the 7-hole. Tyler Anglin, the center fielder, hit that home run the other night, will bat 8th, and then it'll be Teddy Emberton batting that 9th slot. We'll check the defense for you for Scott County. It's Thomas Bennett, and Thomas Bennett, who's been outstanding this year, Darren, has not had the hitting regional tournament he's wanted to have, but he's an outstanding shortstop.
Yeah, and Gary, I was sitting here trying to research this last night when I was going through some sleepless time last night. I didn't get any sleep last night. It was kind of funny, but
Sam Sutton out on the mound.
Western Hills and Scott County, neither team has made the state tournament. So this will be a first for both teams tonight.
Sutton's first pitch from the lefties, a strike on the inside corner to Thomas Bennett. Parker Jackson on deck. We'll set the defense for you after this second pitch here from Sam Sutton, and that's going to be a ball high. It is Brian Thorne out in left field, Cam Hill in center field, Fryman's in right field. Home run hitting Hannaback is at third, Cooper Roberts short, Kendall Covington second, Ogles at first, caught behind the plate. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss by Bennett. Thomas now behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and our intern who worked with us on the sidelines at basketball, Rebecca Cook from Franklin County, was just up here saying hello to us in the press box, Mr. Douglas.
Brightened up the press box.
Here's the 1 ball, 2 strikes. Call strike 3. As we said, Thomas Bennett been struggling a little bit at the dish.
He's not seeing the ball on the outside part of the plate. He took 2 called third strikes last night, just in the same location that pitch was from Sutton. And from left-handers, Gary, they call them sneaky fast.
Right.
But they also have that natural tail to their fastball, which will go away from righties.
Here's Parker Jackson, and he looks at a breaking ball high out and also a little bit inside. 1 ball, no strikes to Jackson. Jesse Howard, the outstanding catcher, is on deck. Then Landon Arflack, who broke J.T. Riddle's home run single-season record this year. Ball outside. I don't know if you knew that or not, Darren, but J.T. Riddle, of course, Mr. Baseball, and this young man Arflack hit 9 home runs this year.
We learned that in the opening game of
Mr. Knight, Coach Knight,
against Madison Southern. And Western Hills has had a couple of really nice games. Of course, that game with Madison Southern we thought might be the best game of the first round.
Yes, and that was a terrific game, 2-1 ball game. We've had some great games. I mean, it was surprising not that Western Hills won last night, but that they beat a good Henry Clay team 9-1. When that pitch is a call strike after he was 3-0 to Jackson.
Of course, the problem with Henry Clay's pitching last night, their bugaboo was walks. I mean, every pitcher they brought in at least walked their leadoff hitter at least once.
Sam Sutton pitch and chopped foul down the opposite field, down the first baseline. So after he went 3-0, he's run it to full count to Parker Jackson. Has Sam Sutton and Darren Douglas. What can you tell us about the lefty Sam Sutton for Scott County?
Well, not much other than the fact that I was a left-handed pitcher. So I told you they get that natural tail away from righties with their fastball.
Ball hit out towards second, and Covington sets and throws. Easy play, 4-3. He struck out Thomas Bennett, the leadoff hitter, and then he went 3-0 to Parker Jackson, battled back, got him full, and then entices him to hit one off the end of the bat to second baseman Covington. That's 2 outs, brings up Jesse Howard, the catcher, and Seth Knight also believes, we talked about that this young man is the best catcher in this tough 11th region.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he overcame a real tough psychological blow to him back on game 1 when he hit his pitcher in the nose with a ball thrown. It looked like it was a play on that maybe Arflack forgot that the play was on, and he was supposed to cut it off with a runner at third and took it right in the nose.
Pitch hit him. So Howard hit by the pitch. He'll head down to first base and become this 11th Region Baseball Championship game's first base runner is Jesse Howard. And that brings up Landon Arflack, the first baseman. As we said, we got the courtesy runner coming in there for the Wolverines as well.
Wandale Robinson's who that is.
Oh, yeah, that's the speedster. So Robinson, we've seen him a number of times in this tournament.
Yeah, he can fly, and if he gets a good read on the lefty Sutton, which is tough to do with the lefties. They were pretty much a good base runner holders with their stretch positions.
That pitch from Sutton that missed high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Sammy Sutton on the mound. As we said, Cop, your catcher for Coach Willard. Both teams looking for their first trip ever to the state baseball tournament, so history's going to be made by either one of these ball clubs here tonight. Here's the pitch, and hangs high and tight to Arflack. He did the same thing to Parker Jackson. He went 3-0, then battled back, got him to ground out to Covington, but then he came back and hit Jesse Howard, the number 3 hitter, the catcher, and that brought out Robinson, the courtesy runner. Now he's behind Arflack, 2-0. Left-handed hitter's got some power, as we said, 9 home runs. And that's going to be a ball just missed outside, so he's running 3-0 to Landon Arflack.
He didn't look too bad today. Last night he was a little swollen around the middle of the area of his face, the nose and things, but he didn't look too bad today, does Arflack.
Luke Wheatley is on deck. He'll be pitching for Western Hills, and that's going to be a call strike on the outside corner. I like the fact that Sam Sutton, when he falls behind, he comes back with just an absolutely pitch that's so perfect he couldn't have walked it up there any better.
That was a 3-0 slider, too.
Yeah, exactly.
So shows you exactly what confidence he has in his pitches.
And that ball is hitting. Came inside, ball forward, and got a piece of Arflack, so he hits back-to-back batters, Howard and Arflack. You got runners at first and second for Western Hills, and Mr. Sutton, who got Thomas Bennett, struck him out. Jackson had ground out to second. All of a sudden, he's hit back-to-back hitters.
Good idea from Sutton there to come inside with the 3-1 pitch, just to let Arflack know he's not afraid to come in there. I think he wanted it off the plate a little bit and got a little bit too far inside, and therefore the second hit batter in a row.
Runners at first and second. Luke Wheatley can help his own cause. Call strike to the pitcher, batting fifth, with Logan Etherington on deck for Western Hills. Coach Chisholm's done a tremendous job with the Wolverines this year.
You know, this is a young man who I thought might start last night, and if he didn't start last night, would start tonight if they got through. And it proves that either I understand Coach Chisholm's thinking, or I've been around too long, one of the two.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. I left that one up there for you. I hung a breaking pitch there.
You sure did. That was a big softball you put up there for me. So 1-1 strike. That was in the dirt to Luke Wheatley with 2 outs, but runners at first and second. Robinson is second. Arflack, who runs well, is at first. Here's the pitch from Sutton. Fouled back to the screen. Good cut there by Wheatley. We're in the top of the first inning of the 11th Region Baseball Championship. Gary Ball, Darren Douglas, and the King of Stream, William Warfield. No score here, but runners at first and second for Western Hills. 28 wins on the season, 28-9. Here's a Sutton pitch to Wheatley, and it hangs high and outside. Tried to come with a breaking ball that time, Darren, but it didn't break enough for him.
Well, he's had issues here in the first inning with finding that release point of the breaking ball. He's thrown a couple of really nice ones, and he's thrown some that have just kind of tumbled up there and hung up.
Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fastball outside. So Sutton had a little bit of control problems right now. He hit Howard, then he hit Arflack on an inside pitch that was a 3-1 pitch. Would have walked him anyway had it not hit him. And now he is facing Luke Wheatley.
Here's where the fun starts. The runner's off and moving on the full count with 2 outs.
Lost it foul off the first base side, well off home plate. Robinson will have to go back to second, and Arflack back to first. Western Hills and Scott County, Georgetown and Frankfort battling here. Also, we want to welcome a new sponsor tonight. It's going to be Rebound Ortho. Rebound Orthopedics, that's Dr. Lyon over there in Frankfort. Rebound, big sponsor here tonight for Frankfort Western Hills. And there's going to be a ball. Bases are loaded. Wheatley draws the base on balls to pitcher.
Yeah, I was going to say, we might see a visit from the pitching coach, and here he comes for Scott County. Right now, Sutton is looking like maybe he might be thinking a little bit much and trying to be too fine. And what I mean by too fine, he's trying to paint the outside or the inside corners instead of attacking the strike zone and making Western Hills put the ball in play. So I think this is going to be one of those conversations. Look, quit trying to be too fine. Quit trying to pinpoint where you're going to put it. Throw it in there, throw strikes, let your defense work behind you.
Yeah, because Scott County does have an excellent defense, particularly with Hill out in center field. Very fast out there. Robb is a solid shortstop. Hanneback has been outstanding at third. Covington at second. Ogles over at first. Kopp's done a good job behind the dish. So, like you said, Darren, let your fielders work for you.
Well, both these teams have actually played really good defense through this tournament, and that's why they're here.
Exactly. That's why they're in the championship game.
You've got to make sure that, if your pitchers throw strikes and doesn't walk anybody, now you got to have your defense play behind you.
Full count, bases loaded, and up there now is Logan Etherington. And here's the pitch. That's high and tight. I'm getting a little off track here with all this activity going on in this press box.
It's actually kind of quiet here.
It is. Etherington with the bases loaded. And he swings through that one. That was a nice pitch there by Sam Sutton. course, the son of former Sayre coach Scott Sutton.
That was a little that was a screwball. Went away from Etherington with a little late movement.
Bases loaded. Here's the pitch from Sutton, and that's going to be a call strike inside corner. And I don't think Etherington liked the call, but it was right over the inside portion of that plate. He's a little tight on that plate up there, isn't he, Darren?
Yeah. So he's hugging the plate there. Like to see maybe a big guy get his arms extended.
1 ball, 2 strikes, bases loaded. And he swings through that, and he strikes him out with the bases loaded. So Western Hills loaded him up. Etherington strikes out. Sutton reaches back. The pitching coach came in, settled him down, as Darren said something to him, got him settled down. So for Western Hills, they get no runs, they get no hits, but yet they leave the bases loaded here. We head to the bottom of the first here, thanks to Rebound Orthopedics over in Frankfort. Also to White, Greer, and Maggard, our orthodontists, our title sponsor. We'll return here on PrepSpin, no score. Scott County coming to bat in the bottom of the first.
I am Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
I'm not happy with my teeth. They're not straight enough.
Let me fix them for you.
No. You are not White, Greer, and Maggard.
I'm sort of like White, Greer, and Maggard. I'm local, love smiles, love to fix things.
No.
Sorta you isn't you. White, Greer, and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Electronic Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app.
Over 340,000 text alerts were sent last year with Whitaker Bank Text Banking.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
At Central Bank.
Leading off for the Cardinals, bottom of the first, center fielder number 4, Cam Hill.
Jam there in the first with the bases loaded, striking out Etherington for Scott County. Leading off Cam Hill, the center fielder, Sam Sutton, the pitcher, Kendall Covington, the second baseman, Trey Bender, the designated hitter, Trey Ogle, the first baseman, Robbie Hannaback, the home run hitting third baseman, Braden Kaup, the catcher, Cooper Robb, and 9-hole Bryce Fryman facing Luke Wheatley, the right-hander for the Wolverines of Western Hills. Left-handed hitting Cam Hill. I've been impressed with Hill in this tournament, Darren.
Yeah, and I've been more impressed with his arm. Heard everybody talk about his speed, but I've been more impressed with his arm. And then the fact his smartness on the base paths as well.
Of course, you know he's an early commit to the University of Kentucky. That pitch was on the inside corner, call strike from Luke Wheatley. Looking at it, Jess Howard, his catcher, would check the defense after this. Pitch pulled down toward first and played down the bar. Flack on one hop, and he goes and tags the bag unassisted. So he ripped it out there, Darren, but unassisted. It'll be 3 unassisted, first baseman, 1 out. Defensively, you got Burge out in left, England's in center for Western Hills, Emberton, the right fielder. Etherington's at third, Thomas Bennett, your shortstop. Parker Jackson at second. Arflack, who just made that nice defensive play down there. Ball was ripped down there. Luke Wheatley out on the mound. Jesse Howard behind the plate. 1 out. He'll ground it out to first. Sam Sutton, the pitcher, up there now in the second. Here's Wheatley pitch. Hangs outside, ball 1 on a fastball.
You know, our viewers out there can watch Wheatley pitch. He's old school. He comes straight over the top. Nothing fancy. Won't overpower you with his speed, but does a nice job of location.
Call strike on the outside corner to Sutton. Kendall Covington, the second baseman on deck, has been very solid this tournament, regional for Scott County, especially in the field, Darren. He's been really solid at second base. Trey, after Covington, Bender, the cleanup hitter. That ball just missed outside from Wheatley, and Howard, as he threw the ball back, you can just kind of tell by his body language he thought it was a strike.
They're not real happy with the strike zone on that occasion, but
that was a call strike on the outside corner.
Well, again, you watch Wheatley pitch, you'll enjoy watching. I'm not going to compare him to Greg Maddox, but it's Greg Maddox-like. He goes up, down, in, out of the strike zone, and changes speeds at a really, really good pace.
We're at a full count now on that call. That was a ball.
Yeah.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kendall Covington on deck for the Cardinals. No score here in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch from Wheatley. Ball hit out towards second and got away from Jackson. And Jackson will not even have a throw after the ball hit him and kind of caromed off of him a little bit. And he just decided, I'm not even going to make an attempt at this. So that'll be an error on the second baseman.
We kind of let the ball play him. It was a sinking line drive and trying to play it with the backhand instead of squaring it up, let him hit him in the chest if it came up on him, where he may have had a play at first base. But can't really criticize Parker Jackson. He pitched a heck of a game last night in the semis, and he's played really good defense throughout the year at second base.
Yeah, that's an error on the second baseman. So Sam Sutton, did they put a courtesy runner in there for him, Darren?
I didn't see one get in there quick, but it looks like 33, Gary.
Okay, 33 for the Cardinals.
That would be Caleb Covington. Am I correct?
Yes, that's Joe Pat's son.
Yes, sir.
So Kendall Covington at the dish, Caleb running out to first base. 1 out. Cam Hill hit it hard down to our flag. Ball foul back to the screen. This is the 11th Region Baseball Championship produced by William Warfield, King of Stream. Pretty cool to set up here, Darren Douglas, and have the best digital streamer in the country. We're here controlling your ball game.
I agree.
My goodness, I feel important.
Wow, you just embarrassed him.
I feel special working with.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen William blush like that.
Here's the pitch way outside. Throw down to first, and Covington's going to dive back very quickly. 1 out. Kendall Covington at the plate. Second baseman. Cam Hill, boy, he hit it hard down to our flag. And then, of course, you had Sutton get around on it late, but misplayed by Jackson. Error on the second baseman.
And that one was hit hard, too.
Ball hit down toward third, fielded by Etherington. One play to first and threw a BB over there to first base. I tell you, this Etherington kid's got an arm, doesn't he?
Yeah, they got several of them, Ben. It's got a really good arm. You know, last night for viewers, I talked to somebody down at Western Hills. Cameron Barton took a really tough shot out there in the left center field.
Has a concussion.
Has a concussion, and you know he wants to be in the lineup tonight, but Coach Drew Chisholm and everybody in training staff erring on the side of caution.
Covington moved down to second on that nice play by Logan Etherington. 2 outs now, brings up Trey Bender. Bender's your designated hitter tonight for Scott Willard and Scott County. He chops that one down toward Bennett. It's short. Takes a easy hop. Bennett fires over the infield. Good stretch over there by our flag. Nice play by Thomas Bennett. He's been solid at shortstop. And that is the 3rd out. So Bender grounds out to short. And for Scott County, no runs. They get to no hits. They leave 1 man on base. We go to the 2nd, no score. Western Hills and Scott County here on the White Greer Maggard High School Baseball 11th Region Game of the Week. We'll be back.
We like to call ourselves your friendly neighborhood financial experts because we get to help an entire community of customers achieve their financial dreams. So whether you're opening a checking account or buying your first home, you've got a team of local experts to coach you all the way.
Wow.
See what 70 years of experience can do for your financial future with Central Bank.
How many times are you going to drive off with those things?
Official bank of UK Athletics.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Folks, this is Gary Ball, and you hear my catchphrase, soup and a sandwich. When I want the best potato soup and prime rib sandwich, I head over to Rafferty's Restaurants after my games. Check out Rafferty's 9 great locations throughout Kentucky, and all you teens, you can eat at Rafferty's before those big ball games. The open prime rib sandwich is what legends are made of. Ask Joe B. Hall, the legend himself, it's his favorite. Rafferty's a big supporter of high school sports throughout Kentucky. Rafferty's, where the special is you.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky community.
On deck, England.
The bottom third of the order, Parker Burge leading off the second here in a scoreless ball game. Sam Sutton, the lefty for Scott County, winds and fires, and Burge fouls it off the first base side. Well out of play. We've got a nice crowd in here tonight. Really good crowd starting to fill up. Late arriving crowd, of course, on a warm night here. They're talking about possibility of some thunder showers about 8 o'clock. Here's the pitch. Ball hit hard over short and going to drop right in front of the left fielder Thorne out there. Base hit off the bat of Burge. So there you go. There's our first base hit of the ball game. Parker Burge lines one over short. That brings up Tyler Anglin, the center fielder here, with runner at first base now. For remember, Western Hills loaded them up by virtue of Sutton hitting 2 players and also walking another in that first inning, but then he was able to get Etherington on a strikeout. There's a bunt right in front of the – that's going to be tough for Sutton. He's going to set and throw, and the ball gets away safe. They're going to throw to third. They're going to have him by a mile as they throw out Burge at third base. So he's out.
Yeah, I think that's on the third base coach. I think he actually called him over, and man, but as a base runner too, you got to be watching the play as you round a bag and be ready to go and things like that. He may have been able to make it had he been doing that and things, but man,
that's going to be an error on Ogle, right, at first base.
Well, you know, they could score that in infield hit.
It was a great bunt.
Even though he was bunting to sacrifice the runner.
You know what? I know I'm a tough scorer, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a base hit.
Because you can't assume the out there, because give Burge credit. He was hustling down the line, made it interesting at first base.
Teddy Emberton and Seth Taylor jacked one out for West, and West Jessam's up 2-0 in that 12th region final.
Is that that must be the bottom of the second? Is that, yeah.
Call strike there to Teddy Emberton, runner at first.
Something tells me 2 runs isn't good enough in that game, though. Something just tells me.
Missed outside. Of course, West, your defending state baseball champions for the state of Kentucky. Only one state baseball champion here in Kentucky. Last year was West Jessamine. They're trying to repeat, get back to state. Pitch is going to miss. Here's a throw down to first, and getting back in plenty of time is Anglin. Teddy Emberton. One out as Burge single, but then he was thrown out at third. Trying to advance to third. Fastball. I tell you what, this Sam Sutton's really bringing it right now, Darren William. He's bringing some heat in there.
He's a little sneaky fast, you know, for a lefty. There's not too many lefties. There's not too many lefties that throw like Drake Swindell and Wagner. Is that his name? Not Bobby Wagner. Billy Wagner. You know, not too many guys throw like that on the left side. I don't know why that is. I guess that's why they call him crafty and sneaky, I guess.
So he strikes out Emberton swinging. So that's 2 outs, and that is also the 3rd strikeout already for Sam Sutton of Scott County.
It's either feast or famine with Sutton right now. He's hit a couple, he's walked 1, struck out 3.
Yep, Thomas Bennett struck out in the first. He was the first victim of 3. Here's the Sutton pitch, and that's going to be a ball just outside. Well, boy, one thing Bennett does, he's a junior. He can really play shortstop defensively. He's a solid defensive player.
Got a cannon for a right arm, too.
He's a great little baseball player, struggling here at the plate, trying to change that up here in the regional final. Ball inside, ran him off the plate a little bit. We're in the 2nd inning of the 11th Region Baseball Championship here on PrepSpin, and our sponsor is White, Greer, and Maggard, our title sponsor.
Now, Gary, talking about Cam Hill, the center fielder for Scott County. I'm not sure if you were aware of the news, but earlier today, I guess around 2 o'clock or so, Gary Henderson, no longer the baseball coach at Kentucky, resigning.
I did, and it's quite
kind of shocking, a little shocking.
But it was quite interesting that one of the Herald Leader writers wrote a big article about it. I think it was John Clay. Twice.
Right. But it's still kind of shocking because think about this. He's playing he's coaching at the northernmost school in the SEC, and he's playing in the SEC.
That was a strike there to Bennett.
And you got 8 teams ranked in the top 25 pretty much throughout the year, every year.
Runner at first. We're going to give him an infield hit on that. Here's the pitch, and Bennett swings to it. He strikes him out for the 2nd time. here tonight. He strikes out the leadoff hitter, Thomas Bennett, and gets out of that inning. For Western Hills, they get no runs on a couple of hits. Of course, the big play, as Darren said, was Burge running out of that inning, getting thrown out at third base. We'll return here with bottom of the second. No score here on the White Greer Maggard High School Baseball Regional Game of the Week.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
My team is made up of guards and forwards,
offense and defense,
all working together as a unit.
One mission, one goal.
But no matter how high we're ranked,
no matter what the results,
there's one team we'll never beat.
The sports medicine team at UK Healthcare. The top sports medicine physicians, surgeons, and athletic trainers you'll find anywhere, you'll find here.
When it comes to orthopedic,
leading off, bottom of the second for the Cardinals. First baseman, number 13.
Back with the bottom of the second, still no score. It will be Trey Ogle leading things off for the Cardinals, and it'll be home run hitting Robbie Hanneback. That's right, Scott County fans. Hanneback's hit 2 home runs in this regional tournament. Hit 1 in the district and had a home run all year. He's got 3 here. All of a sudden here in postseason play, he's Babe Ruth.
Well, I tell you what, the one he hit yesterday against Catholic, the only question that you all were telling me was it high enough to get out?
He jacked it. Call strike inside corner. Don't think Ogle liked that call, but Luke Wheatley certainly enjoyed it. So no balls and 1 strike to Ogle leading off the bottom of the second with Hanneback on deck for Scott County. No score. Here's Wheatley's pitch, foul behind the screen. Winner here advances to the KHSAA State Baseball Tournament. It gets underway a week from tomorrow at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, home of the Lexington Legends.
What region matches up with the 11th?
Second region. 11th plays the second region, which is always a very tough region.
Uh-huh. That's not the Henderson County region, is it?
Yes, it is. Here's pull down toward third,
nice
backhanded.
play.
Let's see if he's got a throw over the infield, and the scoop, but safe. Great scoop. What a play by Etherington down at third. He saved extra bases. That had double written all over it, over the third base bag. He backhanded it, was able to set Arflack with a great stretch at first base. It was a bang-bang play, but the umpire said safe. Ogle with the base hit.
Well, our viewers could see Ogle going down to first, and he kind of started a little loop so he could hit the bag and round it, maybe go for 2. He almost cost himself because he took that loop, but nice play by Etherington, just not able to get enough on it to get it over there to make it even more interesting than it was.
I'm looking at Burge. He's out there near the warning track with the home run hitting Robbie Hanneback at the dish. 2 home runs in this regional tournament, and he got a hold of both of them.
Sonny Dennison, former player here at Lafayette, and he used to holler, come in here and play with us, quit sitting on the fence. Think about that. Look how deep Burge is. He's back there. He's about 5 steps from the warning track out there.
Ogle at first. He got the base hit over third. What a play by Etherington.
Now, that's a pitch high school players don't throw very much, Gary. That was a changeup from Wheatley there. More pitchers, I think, especially young pitchers, learned a changeup. It didn't have to be the circle change or anything like that. Just some form of changeup. I think it would help their arms and save their elbows a lot.
Ball fouled well off the first baseline. Foul ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to Hanneback with Braden Kopp, the catcher, on deck, and Ogle's out at first. He singled just over the third base bag. Etherington backhanded it and threw on a close play, Darren, and safe for there beating it out. Ogle runs well for a big guy.
He does. And, again, I think he thought it was going to get through, and he was going to round the bag, and it already started that loop and almost cost himself a step or 2 there at first.
Full count now to Robbie Hanneback, third baseman. Kopp on deck. Runner at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. No score. Wheatley's pitch hit out towards the end. Base hit. Gets underneath the glove. And going down to second will be Ogle. And into first with a slap hit. Hanneback. They just got it under the glove of Arflack, the first baseman. So runners at first and second. Back-to-back hits here for Scott County. Boy, they've been hitting the baseball here in this regional tournament.
Well, both teams have. I mean, they both have been hitting it hard. That one, Arflack was in front of the runner at first, and that's 34, Gary. Nope, 30?
34.
30. It's 30, Gary.
30 running.
Yeah,
that's Preston Rankin.
Yeah.
So Rankin running now, courtesy runner. You got Hannah back, who just singled sharply underneath Arflack's glove at first. So runners at first and second, and Luke Wheatley in a bit of a jam here in the bottom of the second with Scott County and Western Hills battling for the 11th region crown and nobody out. West Jess leading 3-0. Single to left by Johnson. That scored Blancett for the Colts. They lead 3-0 now in the 12th region final. If the dates didn't coincide, you know where William Warfield and I'd be. We'd be over there doing that 12th region right now, the same night of the 11th. So nobody out. Runners at first and second. Wheatley checks a runner at second. Here's a bunt right down toward first. Fielded, bobbled. Arflack then has to throw it, and the umpire's going to say, yeah, you tagged him, so gave him the out anyway. But what a great job by Kopp to advance the runners to second and third with that great bunt that Arflack had to really pounce on there.
Yeah. Arflack actually may have had a shot at third. He was right down the throat of Kopp before the pitch was made. Had he looked at third, he may have had a shot at third to the runner Rankin going from second to third.
Left out the R there, didn't I?
You did. I caught it. Actually, we didn't get a chance to talk about Kopp. Kopp's actually a really nice catcher himself for Scott County. So let's, we give all the praise we've heard about Jesse Howard, but Kopp has done a fine job behind the plate this tournament as well.
Cooper Robb with runners at second and third, and catcher Howard does a good job blocking. It kind of lost the baseball there, though.
Well, he's looking to see if the runner was coming to the plate.
Kind of acting like he lost it to see if he'd come. Rankin is.
Well, he did step on it.
Rankin is running at third.
Yeah, and that's not a courtesy runner, Gary. That's for Ogle, so that's just a re-entry rule. He's just a pinch runner, and Ogle will re-enter probably defensively again.
Robb slaps it to third. He's got to play at home. Etherton fires, and Howard will tag him out at the dish. Has no slide there at all by Rankin. Umpire takes a long look back at Rankin. So Rankin out. Etherington, boy, that wasn't even close.
Yeah, well, it was a contact play. So in other words, it's wherever the ball's hit, Rankin's coming on contact. And it's just kind of a do-or-die play for the runner, and that's a call play from the third base coach and head coach, Scott Willard.
Hannaback did move on down to third after that ball was hit down to Etherington. He fired home. Well, that was a nice strike there by Etherington. Is he a pitcher also?
Yes.
Okay. You can tell with these arms of these Western Hills guys. Third baseman's got a great arm, as you mentioned. Jackson's got a good arm. Arflack, of course, can just throw lasers up there. 2 outs now, brings up Bryce Fryman, the right fielder, with 2 outs, runners at the corners, and he lofts it toward right field. Right fielder's got a long way to go out there, and he'll run toward the right field line, and they're going to call it a foul ball.
Well, Emberton on Monday night made a really nice diving catch, went out of our view of into the right field foul territory, made a diving catch to end the inning against Madison Southern. That Madison Southern ball club really played very well with Western Hills. That was a very entertaining game. It was, 2-1, 5 hits combined between the two. Just a really, really good high school baseball game.
So runners at the corners. Robb is at first, and Hannaback's at third, and pitch kind of got away. But I tell you, this Jesse Howard, I am impressed with him, Darren, the catcher for Western Hills. No score here, but I tell you what, Western Hills had them loaded up in the first, couldn't get anybody in on Sutton, and now runners at the corners here with 2 outs here.
He reminds me of a catcher we saw a few years ago in the 41st district. He, unfortunately,
catcher's going to throw it to the pitcher, sliding in safe is going to be Hannaback. First run of the ball game. Hannaback scores from third base on a wild pitch that got away from the catcher, Howard.
Well, and 2, Wheatley was a little late breaking off the mound to cover the plate. Now, there's not a lot of foul territory behind home plate here.
Yeah.
So there would have been a play had Wheatley broken off the mound quicker.
I think he was surprised that Hannaback even came.
Well, but you got to be aware of anything. You got to be ready. And of course, he's concentrating on throwing strikes and letting his defense work behind him stuff, but he's got to be able to field his position as well.
Robb went on down to second. 2 outs, a run in as Hannaback scores the first run. It's 1-0 Scott County here in the bottom of the second. Wheatley's pitch. It's going to be a call strike as Fryman now in a bit of a hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes with the leadoff hitter Cam Hill on deck for Scott County. A run in there. Is it important in the regional final to score that first run?
You got to score early, I think, and get yourself more relaxed. Once I think you get that first run on the board, it makes it a little bit easier to play.
Chopper down to second baseman. Jackson, it gets to him, and here comes Rob. He will round third. He'll come in and score, and on the error of the second baseman, it's 2-0.
That one wasn't hit hard, but you know what I think it did? Jackson did what he was supposed to, charged it, but I think it hit the cut out of the grass right there at the lip, and made it a tough play there. I was going to complete my thought on Jesse Howard. I think he reminds me, if you remember, Gary, if you remember a guy by the name of Zach Arnold.
Yes.
Played college baseball at the University of Kentucky. I think he was a senior this year, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Howard kind of reminds me a little bit of him. Got a bigger build, a little bit thicker build to himself than Zach does, but really nice receiver.
Parker Jackson, and really the Western Hills defense has been so solid, and it's kind of letting them down a little bit early in this game. Scott County now leads 2-0.
But that was the play he had to make. He had to come try to get it, and I think it kicked right on the lip of that grass and stayed down on it.
Base hit by Cam Hill. He laces it to right field. Let's see what Fryman's going to do. He's going to hold up at second base.
Coach Willard throwing up the stop sign as well.
Cam Hill, first pitch hitting single over second base. And I tell you what, this has been a big inning for the Cardinals. They lead 2-0.
You know, if you're Covington, you wanted to probably hang there, let the umpire send you to first. Don't automatically assume it's not a strike unless it's 4 feet over your head.
2 outs, 4 runs in, and that pitch is going to be ball 4 inside to Covington, who draws that base on balls. He heads down to first. And
Wheatley thrown a lot of pitches in this inning.
I believe that's Redmond who's in there running, right? Is that Parker? No, it's not Redmond.
Number 44.
We got a runner in there for the pitcher, Sutton.
Looks like 30. That's Covington.
That's Rankin. So Preston.
Sure? Oh yeah, 33's Covington.
So Rankin running at second, and they got him off first. They throw down there and they tag him out at first. Getting off the bag a little bit too much there was Kendall Covington. He's thrown out at first by the catcher, Howard, 2-3. So that's the inning. But, man, what a big inning for Scott County. 4 runs. They get 4 hits. They leave 1 man on base. As we go to the third, White Greer Maggard 11th Region Tournament Championship game brought to you by White Greer Maggard. We'll come back with third inning action here on PrepSpin.
After 2, score Scott County 4, Western Hills 0. Headed to the top of the third, first 3 batters, Jackson, Howard, Arthak. Leading off for Hills in the top of the third, second baseman, number 34, Parker Jackson.
Back with third inning action here with the play-by-play, Darren Douglas.
Thank you, Gary. First pitch cut on by Parker Jackson, the second baseman, who has uncharacteristically for him a couple of errors here in this ball game that have led to Scott County with some damage on the scoreboard. A 4-run bottom of the second inning for the Cardinals. Pitch high and away, evens the count, a ball and a strike. 4-0 here, 3-0 over in Danville between West Jessamine and Southwestern. And the 12th region swung on and missed. A ball and 2 strikes to Jackson, and that one looked like a changeup here.
Yeah, Sam Sutton's really got these hitters off balance for Western Hills, doing a terrific job getting out of that bases loaded jam in the first. Really fired him up, I think.
1-2, high and away. Strike 3 call. Looked a little high, but dropped right in the zone there at the last possible second. And Jackson gave up on the outside corner. Strikeout number 5 for Sutton.
Yeah, he's done a great job in that K category. And that brings up the catcher, Howard. He was hit by that pitch, stranded to third, back in the first.
3-1 now, that score over in the 12th region in Danville.
Keeping close eye on that one, aren't we?
Headed into the bottom of the third. That's actually the 2 teams that people thought would be in the 12th region finals.
4-0 here, Scott County.
Breaking pitch. Missing in. A ball and no strikes. Straight away in the outfield. And the middle infield, Rob deep at short. Covington is well at second. The 1-0 to Howard. High.
Howard, of course, has some power. We talked about our flack with 9 home runs coming into this regional. Howard also has got some jacks this year.
Really nice catcher who transferred in a couple of years ago for Western Hills.
You always like those guys that move in and can play like Mr. Howard. That's a plus.
2-0 is a strike on the outside corner. Fastball right at the knees, and a really good pitcher's pitch on a 2-0 count, which was a hitter's count.
Yeah, but now it's going to be Howard with knowing he's ahead in the count, and Mr. Sutton needs to come in there probably with something he can really pull. We'll see what happens here, but 1 out as he struck out Jackson to lead off this third, his 5th strikeout.
Another break, this time a breaking pitch. Backdoors it on the outside corner. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Howard. 1 out deep here in the top half of the 3rd inning. And strike 3 call. Howard looking for the fastball, got a slider, and it caught the inside corner for out number 2. Strikeout number 6.
Yep, and you know what that strikeout, Darren, he struck out Bennett, remember, in that second? So after striking out Bennett.
He struck out 3 in a row, hadn't he?
And he struck out Emberton before Bennett, so that's 4 straight Ks now for Sam Sutton.
Arflack out in front of a slow breaking pitch this time. And quickly Sutton ahead, 0-1.
I've been impressed with the Scott County pitching staff.
So far, yeah. The young man out in left field, the winning pitcher on Monday night. Swing and a miss, another slow breaking pitch.
Cam Hill, the center fielder, came in and closed the door last night.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm Kopp and Sutton, I come right back with the same pitch, go a little bit further outside. The 0-2 to Arflack.
It was a $1.50 at Kroger, Mr. Warfield.
Fastball outside.
$1.50. Sometimes you can catch them for 99 cents. Yes, sir. Talking about our lifesaver
wintergreen.
Wintergreen, yep. Exactly. That's my favorite. I always have a bag, don't I?
You got a bag of those. Mine is Skittles for some reason. Broadcasters have their things that they're up here sucking us.
Yep.
And they ring him up on the check swing. So Sutton strikes out the side.
Yeah, he got some big hitters too. Jackson, Howard, and Arflack.
And we're through 2.5 innings here in Lexington. 4-0 Scott County. The winner makes their first ever appearance in the state baseball tournament next week. This is the 11th Region Tournament Baseball, sponsored by White, Greer, and Maggard on PrepSpin.com.
Tara, I wouldn't send my team anywhere else.
At Raising Cane's, we believe in one love. But creating one love is no simple task. Everything has to be served hot and fresh, not just hot. We use only 100% premium chicken tenderloins for a 0% chance of leftovers. We insist on the best ingredients for our fries, like potatoes. And, well, we can keep talking quality, or you can just eat it. Raising Cane's, one love.
Visit us today at one of our 6 Lexington area locations.
Introducing 2 Legit, the game's first ever 4-piece bat, designed specifically to achieve the optimum performance level. The technology has been deemed 2x4 logic, a patent-pending design detailing a double barrel and 4-piece construction, creating greater distance and more flex than any of its predecessors. Considering an average batter's swing speed between the ages of 10 and 17 is 46.5 miles per hour. When the ball makes contact with the outside barrel, it compresses the composite material inward, starting the trampoline effect, launching the ball back out. Compared to a traditional bat, the 2 Legit's outer barrel is thinner and highly reactive, allowing the barrel to compress 7.
Back to Lafayette High School. Scott County coming to bat for inning number 3 in the bottom half. They put 4 runs on the board in the last inning. They did get 4 hits, but they aided by a couple of errors. This one hit hard to the shortstop Bennett. Backhands over to our flat one gone.
That's the Thomas Bennett we used to see. That ball was a rope, and he did a super job going down on his knee, backhanding that baseball. That's Thomas Bennett. I tell you, that last inning to me was a fluke with all those errors by Western Hills defense.
Well, and Bender was actually at the plate when Covington got picked off at first base with runners at first and second to end the inning.
Lane goes for a
5-1 now.
Wow.
In favor of West Jess.
5-1. Jody Hamilton.
I just got a text message from a buddy of mine. Says, what's the score of the Scott County Woodford County softball? Doesn't start for another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So this one hit in the air to right field. Will drop in front of Emberton, who slides to keep it from going to the fence. And a long single off the bat of Ogle.
Yeah, that's Ogle doing a nice job. The pitch was outside there, and he went with the pitch, roped it over second base. As you said, Emberton out right field had to really hustle to cut that ball off, or that's going to be a double or maybe a triple there for Ogle, who you wouldn't believe it for a big fella, runs well.
Yeah, run well, yeah. I'll tell you who runs well is Robinson from Henry Clay for a big fella.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
Or Boo Thompson.
Yeah, not Robinson. I was thinking Wandale here. Boo, I'm sorry. I'm going to get your name right before you graduate, son. I promise. Yeah, I called him Bush yesterday. Hey, like I said, I'd walk down a dark alley with money high in my pockets and feel very safe with both those guys. Here's the power source for Scott County, fouled right back here at us.
And he fouled it right back to Darren.
Right. That would hit me right between the eyes.
That was a message, I think.
Charge, Darren, charge it.
Yeah.
Surprising power supply from Hannaback here.
He hit one against Station in the district tournament, and now he's hit 2 here in the regional. He hit the ball well his first time up.
Pitch outside a ball on a breaking pitch.
Braden Kopp on deck, Darren.
Looking, I think they've got action down in the Western Hills bullpen, but I can't tell.
Yeah, there no doubt is action, down 4-0 here in the third.
Wheatley's thrown a lot of pitches, too, especially in the last half inning. The 1-1 fouled out of play to the right.
Our flag giving chase, but that's going to sell well out of play. We're at Lafayette High School, where this coming fall, when William Warfield and Mike Meehan and all of us do high school football, Darren will be doing Woodford County football. But I'll tell you what, this Lafayette General football team is going to be a top 10 team this year with Walker Woodback and one of the best linemen in the country, in Jedrick Wills.
The 1-2 is high. 2-2.
William
and I if I'm off that night, I would gladly come up and see that ball game.
We're already talking about doing the Lafayette Trinity game. Trinity plays on this football stadium.
Field, and they don't come to Lexington too much.
No, they'll venture out to Louisville every once in a while with that power.
They don't come this way very much.
Right. Of course, Mayo beat Lafayette in the state championship last year.
Look out, Coach! Woo!
Now, if Mr. Willard wasn't, kind of dancing or fired up, he's ready now.
That one had his name all over it. He looked down and handed back and said, hey, I'll take that, but my wife might not be too happy if I came home with a fat lip. Because he got his hand up. I think I heard it hit his hand as he kind of deflected it a little bit.
Robbie Hannaback.
Man, a pitch was up, too, and Wheatley hung a breaking pitch. He's got to get that thing down or Hannaback can lose this thing. And the ball is low and outside with the runner moving. And immediately, Scott County has Wheatley's feet to the fire again with one gone.
22, Braden.
Ogle at second, who is moving on the pitch, too, by the way.
See what I mean by how well he runs?
Yeah.
So Hannaback drew the base on balls and
brings up Braden Kopp, the catcher for the Cardinals.
He grounded to Arflack, the first baseman, unassisted in the second. That 4-run second.
And I'm looking probably for a sacrifice bunt out of Kopp here. He actually dropped one down a moment ago, earlier in the game as well. This one, he's going to swing away this time and lifts it in the air to the right side. Emerton on the run. And sometimes it's a good idea if you want an out to go after and try to go after, but you got a runner at second base and you're down 4 already. You want to try to keep that runner right where he's at. You might want to let that drop foul.
And you just got to wonder, Sutton, the job he's done, if maybe the best opportunity for Western Hills wasn't squandered there when they loaded up the bases in the first inning with 1 out.
And that would have, probably changed maybe the complexion of the way Wheatley's been attacking this Cardinal lineup, as well as ground ball to the shortstop Bennett over towards the third base hole. He boots it, and Ogle almost ran through the stop sign. Says, "Coach, you want to have a leash there and pull him back in?" But Bennett, I think, had ideas of going to third. He was headed that way as the ball was hitting through the 6 hole over there, and maybe took his eye off of it.
I don't know if you can see the number out there, but I've got 4 errors.
That's exactly
I've got
right.
4 errors.
Yeah, I can see it from here a little bit.
Western Hills now after that error. That's the second error by Thomas Bennett. Normally one of the slickest fielding shortstops in the area.
Yeah, and it's 2 guys that you don't expect to make errors. Bennett's got 2, and I think Jackson's got 2. The middle of the diamond there for the
Western Hills looks a little rattled right now to me.
They
I'm just
do.
going to go ahead and say it. It's in they're down 4-0. Nothing against Scott County. They're a great, tremendous baseball team, but Western Hills is not playing their best baseball, no doubt.
No, they're one of the more relaxed teams you'll see. Swing and a miss.
Cooper Rive, of course, Darren, you and William and I, we all saw him play so well in that 11th region basketball tournament at EKU. Almost led his team to the state tournament. Took really a yeoman's effort by Dunbar to beat Scott County. Only a sophomore. The shortstop.
What, 56, 53, something like that?
Young man's going to be a
pitch is high.
I'm not sure what his ticket's going to be. If I had to pick, I would say football might be his ticket to the next level.
Could be. Depends on if he grows any more and bulks up a little bit. Basketball could be that route.
Bases juiced here.
Then baseball could be. So, I mean, good problem to have. This one lined in the left field, drops in front of Burge. Ogle will score. Each base runner from second to third move up 90 feet, and it's 5-0 Cardinals.
Rob with a single, an RBI for Cooper Rob. Maybe baseball's his ticket, you know? You never know.
Like I said, it's a good problem to have, and a former Cardinal that comes to mind of that was Tony Wise. He played 6 different sports over there.
Did Tony play tennis?
I'm not sure. He played soccer, football, basketball, baseball. I think he ran a little track.
Don't be saying that about our
and if there was a sport for giving you the biggest pile of baloney you've ever heard in your life, Tony would probably be on that team.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now here we got a new pitcher.
I like Tony. That's Etherington who's coming in.
Yeah, new pitcher. So we'll take a break. A White Greer Maggard game of the week, and it's 5-0. Rob just knocked in a run for Scott County. They lead 5-0. Still batting here in the third. We'll return on PrepSpin.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back, and a special birthday today listening. Ben Calvano plays for Campbell University. Nancy and John Calvano out in Kansas City. Happy birthday, Ben. Ben Calvano. And
is that the Missouri side or the Kansas side?
Kansas City, Missouri side.
I was out there about a month ago, actually 2 months ago.
Etherington in from third base. Wheatley moves to third. Yeah, force out at home. The runner, Hannah back, was heading back to third. But, Robbie, you're out anyway because all I got to do is throw to home and get you with the bases loaded. So 2 outs.
He didn't know the bases were loaded. He thought there was somebody out on second base, and his teammate,
bases loaded.
Cam Hill, gave him a hard time about it as he came to retrieve the bat at home plate.
We're in the third with Darren Douglas, Gary Ball, and it is 5-0. Scott County Cardinals trying to go to the state tournament in baseball for the first time in school history. So is Western Hills.
Pitch is high and away, a ball. Breaking pitch from Etherington. Logan Etherington moved from third to the pitching mound in this pitching change, and Wheatley, who was on the mound, moved to third. So it's 5-0 Cardinals as we play here in the bottom of the third. This one lifted in the air to center field. Back goes Anglin, has a room, and he has it. A lot of room out there in center field. Had a guy here at Lafayette I know said it's a 40-acre farm out there in center field. But another productive inning for Scott County. They get a run on a couple of hits. They leave 2, actually leave 3. Through 3 innings, it's 5-0 Scott County on the White Greer Maggard 11th Region Baseball Tournament on PrepSpin.com.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm happy with my smile. And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile. I went to White Greer and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me. And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner. I love that I can go to White Greer and Maggard with all my questions. And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night. Don't be like this, me. Go to White Greer and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
I'm not happy with my teeth. They're not straight enough.
Let me fix them for you.
No. You are not White Greer and Maggard.
I'm sort of like White Greer and Maggard. I'm local, love smiles, love to fix things.
No.
Sorta you isn't you. White Greer and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Electronic Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app.
Over 340,000 text alerts were sent last year with Whitaker Bank Text Banking.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
At Central Bank.
Back to Lafayette High School, 5-0 Cardinals lead over Western Hills. And it'll be Wheatley leading off for the Wolverines against left-hander Sam Sutton, who's been staked to a 5-run lead here in the top of the 4th inning. And a first pitch out and away from Wheatley, a ball.
Wheatley started out as the pitcher, now moved to third as Atherton came in to relieve him in the bottom of the third.
A 1-0 to Wheatley. Swung on, lifted in the air to right field. Coming and
long
back,
way.
Yeah, long run for the right fielder for the Cardinals. That is Fryman who makes the grab. He started back, took 2 steps back. Gary, remember the other night I told you it's easier to come in. You take a couple steps back and then you can readjust if the ball dies on you.
He made a nice catch on that though, because as you said, he had a long way to run, and Wheatley just kind of hit it off the end of his bat. That brings up Logan Etherington, who's now pitching, moving in from third, and he's got some power.
And tries to bunt his way on. They need base runners right now if you're Western Hills.
By the way, West Jessup 7-1 now.
7-1, yeah.
Yep. In the 12th.
We'll have the Napa Prime trivia question coming up here in just a moment. I'll give it to you tonight. It's a good one.
And, of course, thanks to Rebound Orthopedics, Dr. Lyon over there at Rebound in Frankfort. Just check them out online. Rebound Orthopedics now sponsoring the regional baseball tournament here. Rebound. And We already said it, though, but happy birthday to Ben Calvano.
Not Ben Valvano, but
No,
Calvano. Pitch out away from Etherington. 2 balls and a strike. Sutton working quickly now.
And obviously he's Italian.
What was your first clue?
That was my second clue that I figured it out on, Darren.
The 2-1 to Etherington, swung on a miss, and he turned it over again, the fastball with that little screwball action away from the right-hander. 2-2.
Fox did it for Scott County last night, and this Sutton kid doing it tonight.
Swung on a miss, strike 3, and that's number 8 for Sutton. Sutton's only a sophomore, correct?
2 outs, nobody on.
Sounds about right. I can. There's an app for that.
Yeah, I think so.
Look it up real quick. But yeah, they've got some outstanding pitching on this.
Young talent on
Mike
this
Ritchie.
team.
I don't know if he's here, but Mike Ritchie, who's probably watching the game up in Cincinnati.
Well, we haven't heard him, so he's got to be here. Hadn't heard from him yet on Twitter or text or email or anything. And watch, now we'll say it, he'll blow us up. This is Burge. Mentioned Cameron Barton, who's injured, got a concussion, ran into the left field signage out there in left center field. Burge did nothing but star last night when he came into the ballgame after the injury in the first inning.
And you are correct, Mr. Sutton is a sophomore.
Thought so. And then Burge went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs last night.
Young man will be back a couple more years. Scott County's pitching stats going to be tough next year.
Pitch high and away. 3-1, I believe.
They've
now
won.
to Burge.
Can you imagine next year? They've won 26 games this year, Scott County. Remember, high school, a lot of rainouts this year, so they didn't really play a full complement of games.
We have a score from Richmond. End of 1 inning. Scott County's softball team up on Woodford 2-0.
Fly ball to right field, and easy catch out there for Fryman off the bat of Parker Burge.
And
a third out.
Inning over. Another easy inning for Sam Sutton and the Cardinals. They move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Gary Ball will be, or actually I'll be back for that half inning. Gary will be back for the 5th. 5-0 Cardinals on the White Greer Maggard High School Baseball Game of the Week on PrepSpin.
At Central Bank, we like to call ourselves your friendly neighborhood financial experts because we get to help an entire community of customers achieve their financial dreams. So whether you're opening a checking account or buying your first home, you've got a team of local experts to coach you all the way.
Wow.
See what 70 years of experience can do for your financial future with Central Bank.
How many times are you going to drive off with those things?
Official bank of UK Athletics.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S Sports. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Folks, this is Gary Ball, and you hear my catchphrase, soup and a sandwich. When I want the best potato soup and prime rib sandwich, I head over to Rafferty's Restaurants after my games. Check out Rafferty's 9 great locations throughout Kentucky, and all you teens, you can eat at Rafferty's before those big ball games. The open prime rib sandwich is what legends are made of. Ask Joe B. Hall, the legend himself, it's his favorite. Rafferty's a big supporter of high school sports throughout Kentucky. Rafferty's, where the special is you.
Number 2, Sam Sutton.
Back with the bottom half of the 4th inning. And the Cardinals up 5-0.
And looking impressive.
Yeah, Etherington with the first pitch inside a ball. And I believe this is this Cop? No, it's
should be Sutton.
Yeah, it's Sutton. It
Sutton,
is. You're right.
Then Covington,
He'll
then
make
Bender.
the final out there.
Yep.
Cop, the pitcher with a 5-0 lead. Pitch on the outside corner, strike, breaking pitch from Etherington.
He came in relief in the 3rd for Wheatley. Yep.
Pitch is inside. 2-1, I believe the count to Sutton, the pitcher, looking for his first hit tonight. He's done the job on the mound. Pitch is a strike.
Sam should have been
so we're full now.
Agreeable with that call. I mean, he's been getting that pitch all night long, so that was a call strike. Good call.
So the 3-2. Strike
Rings him
three
up.
call on the inside corner, a fastball from Etherington. Well, if you watch Etherington, he's a big kid. Very almost mechanical with his wind-up. He'll put that glove out in front of his face, keeps it right there in that same spot as he steps very slowly into his windup.
And that is the first pitch by either Western Hills pitcher tonight, that Mr. Etherington. First strikeout.
Oh, wow. This one lifted, first pitch swinging. It's Covington. This one's almost in no man's land. The right fielder, Emberton, comes. He and Jackson collide, both players down for Western Hills. That thing was, you couldn't have thrown it out there any better if you were Covington. But right now the concern is, I think Emberton ran out towards right field and went down again.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully both young men hit, maybe bang knees, hopefully.
You're hoping nobody banged a knee on a head.
And hopefully nothing major here. He's got both Jackson. Now Emberton's up on his feet walking towards the right center field alley. Jackson's still down, and it looks like they're looking at that left leg, right leg maybe?
Great hustle by both players, Emberton.
Well, and Arflack was out there too. Yeah. For the two of them, they want to be, because Emberton and Jackson, neither are very big guys physically. Arflack would have won that train wreck if he had gotten involved physically. But
no doubt.
You know.
5-0 here. Scott County leading Western Hills. Both teams trying to get their first trip ever to the state baseball tournament. It gets underway next Thursday at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, home of the Lexington Legends Class A Kansas City Royals team. And
both
it's
players
5-0.
up on their feet, Gary, and that's good to see.
A good sign,
and we'll see if they both stay in the ball game. It's the entire Western Hills team out on the
brings up your designated hitter
that were out on the field, went out to right field to check on both of the guys. And Emberton's still bending over at the waist out in right field, though, Gary. He doesn't look like he's feeling 100% right now. And Parker Jackson back in his spot at second base. And maybe when they both slid, it looked maybe they caught knees, banged knees together, or maybe they hit each other's knee, hit the other one in the solar plexus, and knocked the wind out of both of them.
The solar plexus?
Yeah. You like that? You like that? I paid attention in health class. No, solar plexus. It's around your rib cage area.
Yep.
Right there in that.
Man knows his anatomy.
Short rib. I paid attention in health class. So Covington on board with a single. This one hit into right center field, and actually center field more, and Anglin angles over to
2 outs,
right center field and makes the grab.
Brings up first baseman number 13, Trey Ogle.
Back to first goes Kendall Covington. Here comes Ogle, who has a hit tonight in this Scott County lineup.
2 outs, as we said. Sutton struck out, and then Covington got that flare single to right field. Bender hits one. I tell you, Bender hit that ball better than you think.
Hard,
that was a nice catch out there.
Ground ball third base, and it hits the lip of the grass right there along the third base line and goes foul.
Of course, William and I both will be working the KHSAA State Baseball Tournament Friday the 17th, the semifinals, and the championship game Saturday night the 18th.
I'm going to keep track of that, and you guys may see me out at the ballpark Friday and Saturday.
I'm sure we will. We always enjoy you out there. I remember you calling the state tournament. I did the radio network, and you did some of the webcasting.
We had a fun time. Actually, I was on with Dick Gabriel in the championship game.
Wow, brought in the A-team.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
And that's a snap throw down there by Mr.
Howard's
Howard.
got a really good arm, and he's not afraid. That's the other thing, too, we've seen this tournament this week. Catcher's not afraid to throw behind runners at first base or keep them honest at second or even third.
2 outs here, Darren. There's no doubt Western Hills needs to get out of this inning.
They do.
Trailing 5-0. They don't need to allow anything.
7-1. Here's a chopper at third. Wheatley charges. Throws. Inning over. Nice play by the third baseman, Wheatley.
And good play stretch by Arflack, the first baseman.
We're through 4 innings here in Lexington. Scott County over Western Hills. Gary Ball back with the 5th inning of action here in Lexington on the White Greer Maggard High School Game of the Week, 11th Region Tournament Championship on PrepSpin. Easy for me to say.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
My team is made up of guards and forwards,
offense and defense,
all working together as a unit.
One mission, one goal.
But no matter how high we're ranked,
no matter what the results,
there's one team we'll never beat.
The sports medicine team at UK Healthcare. The top sports medicine physicians, surgeons, and athletic trainers you'll find anywhere, you'll find here.
When it comes to orthopedic care,
I wouldn't send my team anywhere else.
At Raising Cane's, we believe in one love. But creating one love is no simple task. Everything has to be served hot and fresh, not just hot. We use only 100% premium chicken tenderloins for a 0% chance of leftovers. We insist on the best ingredients for our fries, like potatoes. And, well, we can keep talking quality, or you can just eat it. Raising Cane's, one love.
Visit us today at one of our 6 Lexington area locations.
Lafayette High School back with the 5th inning of action. Gary Ball.
Thank you very much, Darren. It's Tyler Anglin, the center fielder, leading off for Western Hills. A good Sutton, and that pitch is going to be a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll be Anglin. Then Teddy Emberton in top of the order. Thomas Bennett for Western Hills, who still have yet to score in this game, batting in the 5th, trailing 5-0. This Scott County team, that pitch just missed outside. Sam Sutton, Darren, the only trouble he ran into is when he hit a couple of batters, walked a guy, loaded up the bases back in the first. Other than that, he's been lights out.
Talking about getting back in the saddle. Nice job of pitching from Sutton, and he hasn't walked a guy since that first inning.
Tyler Anglin, he did single back in the second, and he's 1 for 1. And it'll be Teddy Emberton who struck out in the second. As Darren said, 8 strikeouts by this Sutton kid, a little lefty. I tell you, Scott County's got some good crafty lefties on that staff. Ball swing and a miss. Got a piece of it though, but it was hung on by a Cop, the catcher.
8-1 now. West Jess over Southwestern.
2-2 coming from Sutton. The wind, the pitch. Ball lofted toward the right side. It's going to sail well out of play over there chasing, giving Chase Ogle, the first baseman for the Scott County Cardinals out of Georgetown, Kentucky. Just about, Darren, 15, 20 minutes up the road here?
Depends how many people that you see with those bubblegum lights on top of their car.
Gotcha.
Law enforcement, sir.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about this. Ball hit up the middle, base hit. That's the second hit of the ball game by Tyler Anglin, the center fielder.
I think Anglin's the guy you were thinking about plays football for Western Hills.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he can hit
like a football player.
He can hit the baseball.
Yes,
It's his second hit of the game. He's 2 for 2. Brings up Teddy Pemberton. He struck out in the second. Thomas Bennett on deck as Western Hills tries to get something going here in the 5th inning, trailing Scott County 5-0. Gary Ball with Darren Douglas and William Warfield, our producer here on the White Greer Maggard Game of the Week. PrepSpin.com, watching it in high definition. Got the camera shot behind, just off home plate area. Here's a Sutton wind, a pitch, swing and a miss. He's working out of the stretch now with that single by Tyler Anglin, the center fielder, who singled for the second time tonight, 2 for 2. Emberton struck out in the second, 0 for 1. He's behind on the count here with that late swing, no balls and 1 strike. And the wind by Sutton, the runner is breaking off first, but doesn't go. Ball's outside. I think that little burst out there, bless you, Mr. Warfield, caused a few little problems for the pitcher there, Sutton, as he thought, I think Anglin was going to go on that pitch.
Yeah. If you're Scott County, you right now got to concentrate on the hitter. That 1 run at first base doesn't mean a lot, but if you're Anglin, you're looking to possibly ignite your ball club by being aggressive on the base pass as well.
Western Hills, an outstanding 28-9 record this year for the Frankfort Western Hills Wolverines, and Scott County Cardinals 26-10 for the Georgetown group. Ball fouled back to the screen here by Teddy Emberton.
Right fielder. Boy, he's been busy out there in right field, Dan.
He has.
Been
Doesn't
running
look
long.
any worse for wear here at the plate of that collision in the top half of the
If nothing else, he's ran a 4x400 just chasing balls out there in foul territory.
We talk about not much territory, foul territory between the, from the dugouts around behind home plate and things.
Ball outside.
Once you pass the dugouts towards the outfield side of each dugout, there's quite a bit of foul territory.
It really is, and Emberton, he's been running a long way for those balls out there in right field. Full count now to Teddy Emberton. Thomas Bennett, who's due, is on deck for the Western Hills Ball Club. Here's the Sutton pitch. Ball lofted, and it's lofted toward the infield. Third baseman's going to call off the pitcher near the mound, and they're going to grab it there. Hannah back for the first out here with Anglin still at first base with that single. So one out as Emberton pops up to the infield. Third baseman Hannah back.
I don't know what the second base umpire was calling. He threw his hand up like he was calling an infield fly. There's only one runner on. That's only at first and second or bases loaded that would apply with less than 2 outs.
Good point.
I don't know what he was throwing his hand up before the ball was ever caught.
So Thomas Bennett struck out twice. There's a call strike. Bennett a shortstop, only a junior. And East Jessamine cruising. They lead Garrett 8-0 in the 12th Region Championship. Well, they got an outstanding pitcher there at East, don't they? Hannah William and I interviewed her earlier in the year, didn't we? Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike to Thomas Bennett.
That's a sport that's really growing in this
Big
area
time.
of the
It
state
really
of
is.
Kentucky. Really, the western part of the state is dominated for the most part when it comes to
Bennett
fast
Smooth
pitch.
fire down to first, but back in plenty of time is going to be Anglin.
Fast pitch softball, but Central Kentucky region really starting to catch up with those guys west of Bowling Green.
Darren, what's going on with Bennett? He's really struggling at the plate in this tournament. Has had a great
between
season.
his ears.
That's had a great season.
Between his ears, it's mental right now.
Here's the 1-2 from Sutton, and that's going to be call strike 3 for the 3rd time. Sam Sutton strikes out Thomas Bennett, the leadoff hitter for Western Hills. That's been huge because normally Bennett is the plate setter for Western Hills.
Twice looking.
Man on first.
And again, Gary, you asked the question. It's right here. It's between his ears. The worst enemy for an athlete is the thing right between your ears.
Anglin had led off with a single. Then here's the pitch going to hit the outside corner to Jackson. And then Emberton popped up to the third baseman Hannah back. And then Bennett strikes out looking for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, if you remember back early in the game, Gary, I said that Sutton was having trouble with the release point of his breaking pitch. Last couple innings, he's found that release point.
Ball outside. How long do you think, even though you got over a week before you play in the state tournament, how long do you think they'll go with Sutton? Of course, he's got a shutout going here in the 5th.
I think if you're Coach Willard, you stick with him because you've got other pitchers already that have thrown in this game. You got some in reserve if you need them, but you stick with him.
Swing and a miss. That was a high pitch that Jackson should have laid off of. That would have been a ball too high, and he swung at it up around his eyes. And 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Jackson with Howard on deck, the catcher.
He's throwing a really good game. I don't think you want to take him out right now. Just let him continue to throw the baseball.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Jackson to end the 5th for Western Hills. They get no runs, 1 hit. They leave a man on bases. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is still Scott County 5, Western Hills nothing here. White Greer Maggard Orthodontics game of the week here on PrepSpin. We'll return to the 11th Region Championship game here after this time.
First 3 batters.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Leading off for the Cardinals, bottom of the fifth, third baseman number 1, Ryan Hannibal.
Bottom of the fifth, welcome back. Gary Ball, Darren Douglas, William Warfield. It'll be Robbie Hanneback leading off, and that's going to be a ball inside from Logan Etherington, who came in relief of Wheatley in the third inning. He's now working his second inning of action here with Scott County leading 5-0, and home run hitting Hanneback up there. Laces that over short. Bennett goes up, can't come up. Base hit by Robbie Hanneback, who's been outstanding in this tournament. Been on all 3 times in this championship game. Has 2 home runs in this regional tournament. He's 2 for 2 tonight with a run scored with that base hit over shortstop. Third baseman Robbie Hanneback. That brings up Braden Kopp, the catcher. He reached on an error in the third, grounded unassisted to the first baseman in the R-flack in the second. So Hanneback leads with a single over short here in the bottom of the fifth. For the Cardinals, they lead 5-0. Kopp up there to catcher. Etherington to Wine in the pitch, and ball chopped to Etherington. He could turn 2. He throws to second baseman, fires to first. Gets away from our flag, but they do get and they're going down to second base. Will be the hitter Kopp, so he'll go down to second on that wild throw. But they do get the lead runner Hanneback at second base. So 1 out. Pitcher threw it back to the second baseman, so that's 1-4 if you're scoring at home. But the throw to first was off the line, and Kopp reached on that throwing error, and he's down at second base now.
Man on second brings up.
That is the 4th error here tonight by Western Hills defense. So runner out at second is Kopp. At the dish now is Cooper Robb. He singled, got an RBI his last time up back in the third. And the sophomore shortstop plays football, basketball, and baseball for the Cardinals. He bunts it right back here toward us in the press box. That's strike 1. Bryce Fryman, the right fielder's on deck for the Cardinals. They lead it 5-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning at the 11th Region Championship at Lexington Lafayette High School here in Lexington, Kentucky. Winner moves on to take on the 2nd Region next Friday, I believe. I don't think they play Thursday. I think they play Friday. I could be wrong on that, but all foul back to the screen again. 2nd Region, I know, is their opponent. Rob behind on the count now to Logan Etherington, runner out at second. Kopp, the catcher, reached on that throwing error after they nailed Hanneback out at second base with the throw from the pitcher. Rob now behind on the count. Here's the Etherington pitch and pulls it down toward third. Fielded down there by Wheatley, and he fires over the infield to get him out for the second out here in the 5th inning. So 2 outs. Rob is thrown out by the third baseman Wheatley, 5-3. And that brings up Fryman.
Number 11, Bryce.
He grounded to the third baseman, who threw out a runner at the plate back in the third. And reached on the air on the second baseman, scored a run in the second to Fryman. Fryman, the right fielder. There's 2 outs now, still runner out at second base for Scott County here at the bottom of the 5th. Etherington checks a runner. Breaking pitch is going to catch the inside corner, strike 1. Thanks for watching tonight. Appreciate all you folks watching over in Frankfort on PrepSpin and also up in Georgetown and Lexington, points in between. Of course, you can watch PrepSpin.com anywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. 2 outs here, 5-0 ball game. Scott County leading Western Hills. Pitch is hit over short, and it's going to be a base hit, and they will send a base runner. Coming around second is the courtesy runner, and he'll come in to score, and it's 6-0 Scott County. That was number 15 as a courtesy runner. Get a beat. That's Hunter Fryman was running there for Kopp. So Fryman comes in to score the 6th run, and it's 6-0 Cardinals. So Fryman knocks in Hunter Fryman, gets the RBI. That's single over short. At the plate now, Cam Hill. He pulls it foul down the first baseline. Hill flew out deep to Anglin in center field in the third, singled, scored a run in the second, and grounded unassisted R-flack at first, so he's 1 for 3. This young man's going to play his college baseball, not next fall, but the following at the University of Kentucky. Throws about 90, William, 92, something like that. Really throws the baseball. We're in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, he brings the heat, man. I'm talking about a nice fastball.
Fouls that back to the screen. 2 strikes now to Cam Hill. Yeah, he's definitely the hardest thrower we've seen in this regional tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gary Ball, now William Warfield, our producer, with Darren Douglas.
We sent him to the nacho cart.
Yeah, he's out of the box right now. Runner at first, a run in. It's 6-0. Off and running. Here's a throw down to second, high, and sliding in safely will be Fryman. Fryman still second. A run in here in the bottom of the 5th. Cardinals 6, Wolverines nothing here. 11th Region Boys Championship here, and Mr. Douglas has come through here. Thank you very much with all the beverages. And thank you, sir.
Sir.
Foul back, and Hill's just hanging in there. I'll finish up 5, and Darren Douglas will be back with the play-by-play call of inning number 6. 6-0 here. Scott County on top. Gary Ball with Darren Douglas, William Warfield here. Bottom of the 5th. Scott County's got a run in. They lead it 6-0. Cam Hill trying to deliver Fryman out at second with the 7th run. Here's the pitch from Etherington, and I just missed inside, and the Western Hills folks were wondering why that wasn't strike 3. So thanks to all the folks here at Lafayette. What's this young man's name? Hey, oh, that's Hayden Mallory. Hey, Hayden, thank you, sir. Thank you for all the help here. Nice to meet you. Cam Hill, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strikes him out. So Hill strikes out for the first time tonight, but the Cardinals get a run. They get a run on a couple of hits. They leave a man on base. Scott County here in the 11th Region Championship trying to get to the state tournament for the first time in school history. They lead Western Hills out of Frankfort 6-0. We return with the 6th inning action. Darren Douglas will have the play-by-play of inning number 6. We return here on the White Greer Maggard High School Baseball Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm happy with my smile. And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile. I went to White Greer and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me. And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner. I love that I can go to White Greer and Maggard with all my questions. And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night. Don't be like this, me. Go to White Greer and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
I'm not happy with my teeth. They're not straight enough.
Let me fix them for you.
No. You are not White Greer and Maggard.
I'm sort of like White Greer and Maggard. I'm local, love smiles, love to fix things.
No.
Sorta you isn't you. White Greer and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Electronic Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app.
Over 340,000 text alerts were sent last year with Whitaker Bank text banking.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Back to Lafayette High School, Darren Douglas, Gary Ball, William Warfield. Calling the 11th Region Championship game here for baseball. Both these teams vying for their first ever state tournament appearance. Now, Scott County's had some pretty good teams over there in Georgetown, not only in their 11th Region days, but their 8th Region days as well. This one lifted high in the air, long run for Fryman. It goes out of our view here from the press box, but nonetheless the ball was out of play anyway.
Both of these right fielders are going to think seriously about going out for the cross-country team next year.
Well, you know what? I'm sitting here thinking, could I make that run several times? No, probably not even once. So I was glad I played on the infield and things like that. But
Scott County's still up in the
2-0 after two.
It could be a sweep. The Cardinal baseball team could go to the state, and the Cardinal softball team could go to the
and of
state
course,
tournament.
A couple of years ago, the Lady Cardinals won the state fast pitch title. I think it was 2014, I believe.
I think the Tevis girl led them, the pitcher.
Yeah. And, of course, I don't think, like we said in that West Jessamine game, although they're up 8-1 now on Southwestern in that 12th region game, 9-1 now. So I don't think that 2 runs for Scott County might be enough, because earlier in the year when these two met, ground ball third from Howard. Hannebeck has it. Over to Ogle at first, one gone. But they played the very first game of the year in the fast-pitch softball season, Woodford and Scott, 7-6 Cardinals in that one.
I just want to make a point about the defense. The difference in this game tonight is Scott County's defense is making those plays you should make, and the Western Hills defense is rattled. They've got 5 errors in this game, and Hannebeck just made kind of a routine play, but pretty tough play off to his left.
Tough play going to the left, and also the hop comes up off the lip of the grass there.
But once again, Darren, they're making those plays.
And it make them look easier than maybe they really are. First pitch ball to Arflack for.
Where's that wind coming from?
This fan.
Gotcha. I'm not talking about. It's like, no, wait a minute, guys. I'm talking about. Don't you hear that loud? And is that in your mic?
Yeah, that's going through my mic. What's funny was we both gave you probably the same look. Like, really?
Well, it sounds like we got a crowd mic out there, and there's a lot of wind whipping through it. Is what I'm saying.
Breaking pitch, and a good one from Sutton, drops in for a strike. Evens the count. Actually, 2 balls and a strike now to Arflack.
Sutton's getting better as we go.
Yeah, he's getting stronger. He's not throwing as hard, but he's really hitting spots now.
He's pitching.
Yeah, the 2-1 swung on and missed. Somebody asked me last night, Gary, in an email I got, and I didn't see it till this afternoon, but who's the best pitcher we've seen in the last 10 years in the 11th region? And it hit him on the forearm. And there have been so many. Trevor Gott was good. Clinton Holland was good.
Well, if you're talking 10 years, Thomas Royce.
Thomas Royce was good.
Benny.
1-0 to Etherington, swung on and missed. Etherington right now, I don't think he's going to be able to catch that outside pitch to the knees. He's looking down at the third base coach when he swings.
The ball's been carrying out at Lafayette Field here. We've seen, 3 home runs in this tournament at least?
4, I thought, right?
Maybe it was.
Hannebeck's got 2.
Okay.
Swung on and missed. Because young man for Western Hills has, I can't remember if it was Barton or.
It was Arflack.
No, he didn't hit. It was a right-handed hitter. Can't remember.
Anglin.
Was it Barton or Anglin? It was Anglin. You're right.
Yep.
Both runners. Actually, the runner from second base running. Throw gets away from Hannebeck down the line. Arflack on his way to the plate. Western Hills is on the board. And down to second goes Wheatley. Arflack got a read off of Sutton, who never looked back at second base. He checked the runner at first, but never looked back at Arflack. And as soon as Sutton directed his attention from the stretch to home plate and kicked his leg up, Arflack was off and running for third.
So you get the strikeout of Etherington, but to throw down the third.
A little nod from his pitcher goes, okay, coach, I got you.
Because he doesn't want to come out.
That's correct. And it's a one-sided conversation when that happens. So 6-1 now. Off a stolen base, give Arflack a stolen base of third, and then a throwing error on Kopp. This one lined into center field. Hill will catch it, and the inning over. So Burge hit it hard, but the speedy Hill had him played almost perfectly and had a really nice jump on it, so the inning over. A run, a hit, and one left. We're through 5.5 here. The bottom of the 6th coming up. 6-1 Cardinals here from Lexington on the White Greer Maggard Game of the Week on PrepSpin.com.
Bender. Want to let everyone know that
at Central Bank, we like to call ourselves your friendly neighborhood financial experts because we get to help an entire community of customers achieve their financial dreams. So whether you're opening a checking account or buying your first home, you've got a team of local experts to coach you all the way.
Wow.
See what 70 years of experience can do for your financial future with Central Bank.
How many times are you going to drive off with those things?
Official bank of UK Athletics.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S Sports. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter. Locally owned and operated since 1972.
Folks, this is Gary Ball, and you hear my catchphrase, soup and a sandwich. When I want the best potato soup and prime rib sandwich, I head over to Rafferty's restaurants after my games. Check out Rafferty's 9 great locations throughout Kentucky, and all you teens, you can eat at Rafferty's before those big ball games. The open prime rib sandwich is what legends are made of. Ask Joe B. Hall, the legend himself, it's his favorite. Rafferty's a big supporter of high school sports throughout Kentucky. Rafferty's, where the special is you.
Back here at Lafayette, bottom of the 6th inning. And Scott County hoping to come to bat for the final time tonight, Gary, with a 5-run lead.
Yeah, but it won't be a shutout as Western Hills finally got a run on the board.
And that's going to help this Western Hills team. They do have quite a few seniors. They got a pretty good nucleus back for next year, though. As Etherington throws a ball and a strike as the sun goes behind a cloud. Finally, we get to see the scoreboard out in right center field. This one grounded to the middle. Jackson Fields throws over our flag, one down. Now that's the Parker Jackson we're used to seeing.
Yes, they were a little shaky in their fielding in the first couple of innings. It cost them some big runs. I mean, you look at Scott County, they got 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fifth. They lead 6-1, but it was that second inning, Darren, it was really the undoing defensively for the Wolverines.
If you look at that, it's a 2-1 game right now.
Absolutely.
Take that inning out of there.
Absolutely. That's the point I was trying to make.
Etherington kicks and deals to Covington, who grounds it foul. Come on, Coach, give it a little bit of effort over there. Got to give it the old A. I'm not talking Coach Willard. I'm talking the coach at the end of the dugout for the Wolverines of Western Hills.
So it looks like West Jess baseball and East Jess softball are going to win their regions.
Barring a total collapse.
Or a big time collapse.
9-1, right? Still West Jess and Southwest. I'm just saying, I mean, we have seen some funny things happen in the game of baseball. I can go back to 2010, pitch, strike on the inside corner. 2010 state championship game, Harrison County and Butler. They start 2 freshmen. How many times did you see that happen?
I know it.
In a state tournament final.
By the way, Kendall Covington singled his last time up in the 4th.
Yeah, that was the one where we almost had a near catastrophe for Western Hills.
Yeah.
This one he lobs foul and out of play to the right.
And then before that he walked and was out on that throw.
But you know the one thing he'll remember, though, of this game, besides if they hang on a win here, Gary? The fact he got picked off first base with a runner, and he was the trail runner.
He's hit the ball well twice.
He's hit it well.
Yeah, hit
but
real
every
hard
athlete will remember the bad thing they did in a game, no matter how much other good stuff they did.
That one hits him right in the back. Yep. That hits him right in the middle of that 51.
That was a breaking pitch that didn't break. He kind of just hung out there.
Man on first brings up designated
Coach
hitter.
Willard's been active down there. He's got more
Trey
foul balls
Bender.
and things. He's been rolling and giving back to the home plate umpire.
Scott County came into this tournament, they had a very tough ball game to open things up, and then boy, you got to give them credit, man. They've just come in here and been a very confident baseball team.
Well, when you relax and play, good things seem to happen. But I mean, we've seen some teams come in here tighter than all get out and try to play, and I think that was Henry Clay's problem last night against this Western Hills team in the semis. Their pitching staff, who was really good for Henry Clay, hadn't walked a lot of people as the first pitch is fouled back into the screen. But they walked a ton of people last night. And when you walk people as a pitcher, that puts the onus on your defense. Now that strike zone seems smaller as a pitcher, and it gets between your ears.
When you look at some of the teams that have been knocked out of this regional tournament, Madison Central, Lexington Catholic, Lafayette, the host team, man, Henry Clay, there have been some really good teams that knocked out of this tournament.
But we can go back through the 10 years we've been doing this, and it's the same thing. Every year there's some upsets, there's some surprises.
Definitely Western Hills, the sleeper team, upstart team this year.
Well, we thought it might be them. We thought it really has a nice breaking pitch for strike 3.
Trey Bender didn't like the call.
Bender didn't like it, but gave up on the breaking pitch, and it was a late breaker that rung you up on the outside corner.
Second strikeout for Mr. Etherington.
Now we have a pinch hitter for the Cardinals of Scott County. It's number 33. That's Caleb Cunningham. Cunningham. For some reason, I'm going to have to go back to my eye doctor and get my prescription changed.
And by the way, Covington is he's the son of Joe Patton, the principal at Scott County High School.
Joe Patton, I go way back to his days as a assistant coach on Happy Osborne's Georgetown College teams.
And head coach at Tate's Creek.
Yeah.
That's a nice pitch.
Fastball on the outside corner strike.
Etherington's a good-sized young man, a big right-hander.
Caleb's already a sophomore in high school. I remember the young man was born.
I'm kind of wondering now why maybe Western Hills didn't start this kid. Nothing against Wheatley, but
well, Wheatley I think pitches a strike. A really good pitcher that could have caused Scott County some problems had he gotten his breaking pitch over consistently. Problem was his defense laid him down. He got some ground balls at some guys that normally make plays for him.
That's a good point.
That booted him.
They've had 5 errors.
Pitch off the inner half. A ball and 2 strikes to Covington.
You can't come into the 11th Region Championship game, commit 5 errors, unless you're really pounding the baseball and expect to win the championship.
And the only team I can remember really pounding the baseball that overcame, I think, 2 or more errors. I think they committed 3 in the championship game and won by 2 or 3 runs was Catholic with that Nick Morandi group several years ago.
Yep.
And you want to talk about a man.
He threw he threw low to mid 90s.
Yeah, he hit the ball a mile too. Breaking pitch, strike 3 call in the outside corner, inning over.
Back-to-back strikeouts.
So Etherington's given up 1 run in his tenure on the mound for Western Hills.
He's been in since the bottom of the 3rd.
Giving his team a shot here. They're 5 runs down. They need 5 or more to keep this one going. Headed to the top of the 7th inning. It's Scott County. 3 outs away from a trip to Whitaker Bank Ballpark next week in the state tournament on PrepSpin.com.
Scott County 6, Western Hills 1. First 3 batters, top of the 7th.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
My team is made up of guards and forwards.
Offense and defense.
All working together as a unit.
One mission, one goal.
But no matter how high we're ranked,
no matter what the results,
there's one team we'll never beat.
The sports medicine team at UK Healthcare. The top sports medicine physicians, surgeons, and athletic trainers you'll find anywhere, you'll find here.
When it comes to orthopedic care,
I wouldn't send my team anywhere else.
At Raising Cane's, we believe in one love. But creating one love is no simple task. Everything has to be served hot and fresh, not just hot. We use only 100% premium chicken tenderloins for a zero.
Left fielder number.
Tyler England will lead off the 7th here. He singled in the 5th. And he hits that one out. Hill and the left fielder going back, and that's going to be extra bases. So he gets his 3rd hit. England does. He goes to second base, and Hill gets it back in from center field, throws it into 3rd. So how about the job tonight by Tyler England, Darren Douglas? His 3rd hit, he singled in the 2nd, singled in the 5th, and just doubled to left center field to lead off the top of the 7th.
Yeah, he's about the only Wolverine that has seen the offerings of Sutton clearly. And when you get in that zone as a hitter, Gary, that ball looks like a beach ball coming in. I mean, it just everything you've seen come out of that particular pitcher's hand just seems huge.
Scott County 6, Western Hills 1. England just doubled to lead off the top of the 7th, and that brings up, that's a called strike. That's Teddy Emberton. He struck out in the 2nd. And popped up to the 3rd baseman in the 5th, 0 for 2. We're in the top of the 7th, and Scott County 3 outs away here from heading to the state tournament next week at Whitaker Bank Ballpark.
Emerton didn't like it, but he thought it was high.
I thought it was a little high myself. And we got 2 former umpires up here in the press box calling this game. I know you used to umpire and Darren, I'm going to give you some kudos. I hear good things about you as an umpire.
Really?
And a coach.
Really?
Does that surprise you?
My mother didn't think I was a good umpire.
Well, okay. She didn't think I was very good at anything. And he went around on that, so it's going to be a strike.
Actually, I actually got a compliment from a couple of really well-respected former umpires in high school baseball, and one of them did actually get all the way as high as AAA. Vic Travis and Bernie Jenkins actually paid me high compliments on my ability to umpire. My knees just couldn't take it anymore.
Right. Ball hit up toward the middle, and the second baseman, Covington Field, sets and throws, and he's going to be first, so Western Hills possibly something brewing here in the top of the 7th. They trail 6-1, but that's going to be an error, and that might go on Will Hoyt, the young man that is sport. Is they going to?
That should be on Covington. To be honest with you. Threw it in the dirt, short hopped his first baseman, even though he's in there for defensive reasons. Will Hoyt at first, but Covington didn't step and throw. He just kind of got in front of the ball, really nice fundamentals, just kind of turned and flipped it over to first base.
That allowed England to go to third on that throwing error. So runners at first and third, no out. And here's Thomas Bennett. You talk about a young man that's due. He has struck out the first, second, and fifth, 0 for 3, and the young man's had a terrific year at the plate.
Gary, he's taking a lot of pitches tonight. I've seen him more aggressive at the plate, and for some reason tonight he's taking a whole lot of pitches.
0-1 now from Sutton, and Bennett fouls it out of play.
Yeah, he's an 0-2 now.
Yeah, no balls and 2 strikes. He definitely, with runners at the corners, no outs here in the 7th, and a must-hit situation, does not want to strike out again tonight. He's done that 3 times.
If you're Western Hills, you got a couple of runners on, and you got the top of the order coming up.
So Bennett, here's Sutton's pitch, and that's going to be a ball high to Thomas Bennett, a junior. He'll be back next year for Western Hills, Mr. Bennett.
I think Jackson might be a junior, too. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the roster in my head a little bit.
Runners at first and third, nobody out. Sutton, the left-hander for the Cardinals. Pitches the ball outside. Scott County up 6-1, trying to get to the KHSAA State Baseball Tournament next week at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, home of the Legends for the first time in school history. So is Western Hills. Nobody out.
Short drives for both ball clubs, too, Gary, and it'll be huge crowds, I'm sure, for either team that gets there.
Pitch to Bennett, and that's a base hit. That'll score a run. So Bennett gets a big base hit here in the 7th. He drives in Anglin, who got his 3rd hit. He comes in to score at 6-2. Still runners at first and second, nobody out. So Darren, definitely something going here for Western Hills in the top half of the 7th inning.
Well, when you're trying to complete the game, and Coach Willard coming out, that usually, when the head man comes out, usually means a pitching change here. And Sutton's thrown a good one. Just right now, that toughest out in that last inning is that first one to get out.
So nobody out, a run in. Runners at first and second for Western Hills. Sutton out. We'll see who they might bring in. Cam Hill from center field, the young man that throws bullets up there.
Looks like they are. I think Ryman's going to right from right to center.
So if you bring in Cam Hill, you bring in a young man that throws at about 90. So a run in, and we'll step out here on the White Greer Maggard game. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. 6-2, nobody out for Western Hills. Runners at first and second here, batting top of the 7th. Scott County on top here. We'll be back on the White Greer Maggard Regional Tournament game of the week.
One Love. But creating One Love is no simple task. Everything has to be served hot and fresh, not just hot. We use only 100% premium chicken tenderloins for a 0% chance of leftovers. We insist on the best ingredients for our fries, like potatoes. And, well, we can keep talking quality, or you can just eat it. Raising Cane's, One Love.
Visit us today at one of our 6 Lexington area locations.
Introducing Too Legit, the game's first ever 4-piece bat, designed specifically to achieve the optimum performance level. The technology has been deemed 2x4 logic, a patent-pending design detailing a double barrel and 4-piece construction, creating greater distance and more flex than any of its predecessors. Considering an average batter's swing speed between the ages of 10 and 17 is 46.5 miles per hour. When the ball makes contact with the outside barrel, it compresses the composite material inward, starting the trampoline effect, launching the ball back out. Compared to a traditional bat,
and the pitch is Cam Hill from center field. Man, he throws it about 92. And it looks like Sam Sutton there went out to center field.
Yeah, they just flip-flopped in positions. And a big fly here, Gary, gets real interesting.
Parker Jackson hits it out toward right field, well out of play. Thomas Bennett just knocked in a run as he plated England, who doubled lead off the inning. Emberton is out at second. He reached on air into second baseman, so you still have runners at first and second, and RBI there, as I said, for Thomas Bennett. Swing and a miss, and that's the second time tonight that Jackson has helped out a Scott County pitcher after one up in his eyes.
He got took a little bit off his fastball at Hill there, and Jackson trying to tune up that bat for that 90-mile-plus fastball.
Lofts that one toward the right side, going back on it, Sutton, the center fielder. Let's see if we get a tag. We do tag in a second. Here comes a high throw, and that's going to bounce off the dugout, and that's a break there, isn't it, Darren?
That's a break for the Cardinals.
Because if that goes in the dugout, and he's already at third, they might have given him might have given him home.
Yeah, and that would have gotten him a run closer, and as it is now, you got one out in the inning, but you got the teeth of this order coming 3, 4, and 5 if they can get there with Howard, Arflack, and Wheatley.
6-2 ball game. Jackson just flew out to center field.
Now either one of these guys here can lose one.
And you know Arflack can. He's got 9 of them on the season, 9 home runs. He broke JT Riddle's.
If you're Hill, this is the runner. This is the batter you got to retire. You want Arflack coming up where he's not the tying run.
Howard was hit by a pitch in the first, struck out in the third, and grounded to Hanneback in the 6th inning. A run in, runners at the corners. There's the pitch, and that's going to be a ball a little bit inside from the UK commit, Cam Hill. But like you said, with Gary Henderson resigning today, the University of Kentucky head baseball coach, you don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these recruits.
And here's the thing, too, with Hill. They recruit him as a position player or as a pitcher, you know? Pitcher.
Throws in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Well,
of course,
plays pretty good center field, too, though.
There's so many guys that throw in the 90s nowadays, you know?
I think, and I like pitchers who throw hard, don't get me wrong.
I'd almost hit him.
That would have brought the tie and run to the plate.
Ran him off the plate there.
But, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like pitchers who throw hard, but think about that. I mean, and I go back to the 2012 year with Logan Parrott. You know, he could get it up there about 86, 87 on a good day, but his off-speed pitch was unbelievable and could pitch.
And that fastball on the outside corner called strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Parrott was outstanding.
You know what I'm saying?
Holland threw 95.
He juiced one up in the state tournament 96.
96, yeah. But Parrott was the pitcher. Of course, his dad pitched in the major leagues.
And that helps when you know 15-plus years in the majors was Jeff Parrott.
Runners at first and third, 1 out here, and at the plate is Howard. That pitch is lashed out towards short. Fielded there, steps on second, throws to first, and Scott County is headed to the state tournament. 6-2 over Western Hills. It's ended on a Cooper Robb double play. Tagged the back through to first and got the runner there, Howard, on a 6-3 unassisted double play by Cooper Robb, the shortstop, and Scott County 6-2. And Darren and William, they're headed to the Kansas AA Baseball State Tournament next week at Whitaker Bank Ballpark for the first time in school history. Scott County's going to the state baseball tournament. Congratulations to
both these teams. Played very well to get here in this position. Unfortunately for Western Hills tonight, the thing that got them into this position, good pitching. They still had it under Wheatley. Their defense let them down a little bit. They didn't get the timely hits like they did in the Madison Southern game and then last night against Henry Clay. But I will say the Scott County team, depending on how their mindset is when they get over across town from here, just down Broadway from where we're located here. But Gary, they might be a dangerous team in that bracket.
I agree. I think they can make some noise if they relax. Here's the final box for you for Western Hills: 2 runs, 7 hits, and what Darren was referring to, 5 errors in the game.
Yeah, that hurts.
4 of those in the first couple of innings.
That hurts.
And for Scott County, they win the region: 6 runs, 8 hits, and just 2 errors for the Cardinals. And of course, great job by Sutton. He gets the win tonight. So Sutton, the winning pitcher for the Cardinals of Scott County. And listen to this, they beat Western Hills this year 3 times, 14-1, 8-6, and 6-2. So 3 wins by the Cardinals, and they win the 11th region championship. And Coach Willard has got to be very proud of his ball club, because they were not the team everybody was talking about coming into this regional tournament. Everybody was talking about Madison Central, Lexington Catholic. They were talking about teams like that.
Heard a little bit about Henry Clay.
A little bit about Clay.
But then all of a sudden, Lafayette down the stretch and in the postseason started playing much better baseball. Everybody was talking about them a little bit as being a surprise team. But, we all talk, throughout the leading up to that Memorial Day marathon that we do.
Yeah, the 4 games in one day we call here on PrepSpin.
But we were talking about
12-hour day.
Who would be the dark horse? Who would be the last part of movement? He threw a lot of fastballs tonight that were straight. There wasn't a whole lot of movement to them. So Western Hills got some good looks at it. And I told you and William back when we started this tournament, and we got to the Western Hills game on Monday night, I said, this Western Hills team, they're not going to be the most talented team out there. They got some talent, but they're not the most talented team collectively. But they will scratch, they will claw, and they will fight till the very end. And they did that. They made it interesting in the 7th inning. Unfortunately for Western Hills, Howard hit into that 6-3 double play to end the ball game. And what can you say about the effort that the Western Hills gave and the coaching job Drew Chisholm's done now in his 2nd year?
We got the final box, but they've got one critical error on there. They got the winning pitcher as Hill. Sutton gets the win there.
Correct.
So they got Sutton as
correct. Hill gets a save.
Yeah, Hill gets a save.
Actually, with and I just got a text from that friend of mine, Kevin, down in Texas. He said, "What do you mean that it depends on they could be a dark horse?" The stage hopefully will not be too big for Scott County. If you got Scott County, I'm just saying it's their first trip ever. If it does, they don't get overwhelmed by the environment. It might be something special for
we appreciate all the folks here at Lafayette all week, starting on Memorial Day with those 4 games, as Darren said. 12-hour day for us broadcasters. We were here from literally 10 o'clock in the morning to about 11 o'clock at night. But what a great tournament it is. It's won by Scott County 6-2 here. They head to the state tournament. For William Warfield, our extraordinary producer and web streamer here on PrepSpin, we couldn't do it without him. Also broadcaster doing a lot of the ball games. For Darren Douglas, as always, of course, join us at the state tournament next week beginning on Thursday. For the entire PrepSpin crew, this is Gary Ball, your heading to state tournament team for the 11th Region Championship. Scott County Cardinals 6-2 over Western Hills. Until state tournament action, for Darren Douglas, William Warfield, so long from Lexington to Lafayette.
Just got a score that the Scott County softball team is up 4-0 on Woodford County in the 5th inning.